Welcome to another episode of Nothing Good After Midnight. I'm your host, Desiree, and let's see what fun we can get up to tonight. So, I haven't done a podcast in a while. Life got busy, and I'm not sure what to say. I think what I want to talk about today is support, and it's crazy to think that my idea of support has varied as much as it has over the last couple years. I used to always be the friend that was reliable, and people would invite me to do their parties and things like that so that they could earn hostess rewards. And it never bothered me because it always seemed like, they were people who would like and share my bakery business stuff. But I noticed when I actually signed up for a direct sales company that support did not carry over, I guess is the best way to put it, because everyone was all hyped up for my lunch party. I got a few orders from that, but now I still get invited to parties, and I've done parties for people, and I love my friends, but it kind of sucks when you're the one who's always having parties for your other direct sales friends and they don't ever return the favor. So I've decided, I don't normally do resolutions, but my resolution for this year is to stop doing that. I guess is the best way to put it. Is if someone hasn't booked a party with me, or they don't comment on my posts, they don't show me any sort of support for my businesses, either one, because it doesn't matter to me whether they support my bakery business or my pharmacy business, but I do get kind of sick of me liking and sharing and hyping up all my friends and not getting the same amount of love, because it's hard when you have depression like I do, and ADHD and all the other lovely mental health issues that I have. I tend to get hyper focused on things, and then I quickly lose my steam because I don't feel supported, I don't feel seen, and that's what I want to try to start doing more of this year, is committing more to the different projects that I have. I've been doing reels on Facebook. I actually will have $42 from my reels on Facebook. I still want this podcast to be profitable, but I'm going to start putting my foot down when it comes to other people and supporting them. Is if I'm not feeling the support back, I'm going to have to just step back and be like, you guys got to succeed or fail on your own, because it's exhausting always being the one carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. For those of you who excuse me, sorry, haven't seen it yet, the movie Encanto came out on Disney Plus, and I watched it with the kids probably 100 times now. And one of the characters on it, Louisa, has a song called Surface Pressure, and she talks about how, everyone's crushing expectations just make her nervous, and she feels like she's always carrying the weight of the world on her shoulder, and that everyone, just kind of expects her to do it because she can. And honestly, that I really can relate to her. I can relate to a lot of the characters in there, but on that I can relate to her, because I feel like that's what I'm always doing, is I'm always trying to hold everybody up. I'm not allowed to break. I can bend, I can buckle, but I'm not allowed to break. I'm not allowed to drop the weight. And it's exhausting. And I have been spiraling deeper and deeper into depression since about October. And then right around my birthday, like clockwork, the pit got deeper to the point that I couldn't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. And now I'm at the point where I don't feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's like every day I'm just living. Not even living, I'm surviving. I don't feel like I'm living. I don't feel like there's anything to look forward to. And I think a lot of what contributes to that is that I support people and I try to be there for my friends, and I'm always trying to bring them up. And because I take on so much as an empath, people don't see when I'm struggling. And that's really hard for me because I have my own weight to carry. I have my own things going on, and it's exhausting trying to always find creative ways and to try to get people to interact. I always have to come up with new products. I do pre-sales, and it's just exhausting that, my customer base will be like, oh, well, if you do this kind of sale or you do that kind of sale or you do this thing or that thing, those are the kind of things that we want to see. So I'll run specials, I'll run deals, I'll run pre-orders, and it's crickets. And I feel like I bend over backwards trying to do everything for everybody, and to no avail. And I know I say "and" a lot, but I'm just exhausted. I don't know where to go from here. This is like real me, raw, unfiltered. It's hard to want to keep doing podcasts and reels and specials, and I've actually been considering just shutting down my bakery and being done with it, because it feels like no matter what I do, there's always somebody watching to try to undercut me, or the customers who will beg for specials, beg for deals, won't even like my posts, won't interact. And so come February, I may not be doing the bakery anymore. I have a gift basket raffle going right now, and depending on how that goes and how things progress from that, I may be shutting down the bakery. And then shortly after that, I may be done with pharmacy, and I may just have to come to terms with not having a side hustle, because the side hustles aren't bringing in the money. They're stressing me out, and it's really hard for me because I've always been somebody who worked and made some sort of money, and then when kids came along, I couldn't go and just make money. I can't just run off and get a part-time job, because any job that I could get, if I could get them to give me the hours that the kids could be in daycare, it would cost most of my check. And that kind of defeats the purpose of working if I'm not bringing home anything because I'm spending so much on daycare. Plus, homeschooling on top of that, I would have to put the kids in public school and then still try to have to find a job that worked around those hours, because honestly, my husband's hours, sometimes he's not home till 6 o'clock in the evening, and he leaves at 2 in the morning. He works, 16-hour days a lot of times. It's almost always a 12 to 14. Sometimes it's a 16, depending on weather. And so trying to find a schedule that would accommodate that, kids would have to go in daycare, and daycare here is limited, and they all close at 5. And because there are so many parents in town, those jobs are not really available. And so since having the kids, I've just kind of relied on my side hustles, mostly the bakery, and it was doing really well for a while, and then it just kind of died off, which is really depressing because it makes me feel like, I am a failure. And that's just kind of where I am right now. Is I don't feel supported. I don't feel seen. I haven't had the motivation to do a podcast because, I don't want my podcast to just be bitching about people not supporting me. But that's just a reality right now, is that I'm not getting the support that I need. And it's not even just the financial support. It's like the emotional support. I don't feel like there's anyone that I can reach out to. I don't feel like there's anyone that I can talk to. And that's crippling, really, because I'm that person for so many people. I let people just lay their burdens on me. And it's like, I can't trust anyone to be there for me. And I'm just the convenient friend. I'm the friend that you come to when you have a problem, when you need something. But I'm not the friend that you invite to do things. And that's nothing new. You would think after my childhood being like that I'd be used to it. But it's, I feel like if I can't be a service, people don't see me as worthwhile. And, what's the point of supporting people, being friends with people, or, doing anything if it all goes unnoticed? And that's what it feels like, is that everything I do goes unnoticed. So I don't know what the rest of this month will bring. I made a vow to myself that I would give it till the end of January before I made any drastic decisions about my businesses and my life. But if things continue like they have been so far this month, because we are only 12 days into the month and I'm already at the point that I just want to wash my hands of everything and just be done. Like, there's so many things on my plate that I can't even express the amount of stress that I feel and how overwhelmed I am just trying to have enough energy to keep the kids and myself fed, that I don't have extra energy for nonsense. And so that's what this podcast is about, is that I know probably nobody will listen to this because honestly, I don't think anyone actually listens to my podcast, but I'll try. I'll post a podcast and then I'll post a reel that's kind of few seconds into vision of this podcast and link this podcast to that reel. But if you do listen to this, please comment, interact. We're available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, So if you do hear this podcast and you are listening, even just send me a message, send me an email, message me on Facebook Messenger. Just let me know that, there's someone out there actually listening to this. Or if you're not, obviously I'll know this is a waste of time, and this may be another thing that just kind of goes to the wayside. Anyways, it's late enough that I'm going to sign off here. Blessed be.